years ago, I attended a conference in a structured suit and a pair of pink heels. As I walked through the venue, I could hear whispers. Comments like, "Isn't that combination a bit contradictory?" The world, it seems, has always had a problem with embracing femininity and power at once. But as I clicked across the floor, I realized something. The strength I felt wasn't diminished by my heels. It was amplified by them. I didn't need to choose between being feminine or being powerful. I could be both, unapologetically weaving my own thread into the rich tapestry of what we call girlhood. Scrolling through TikTok one evening, I came across a video that instantly took me back to my childhood. It was of a girl wearing a pink dress, another in ripped jeans with combat boots, and someone else practicing ballet. Soft music plays in the background, and at first glance, these girls might seem to come from completely different worlds. But upon closer inspection, you'll realize that they're part of something much bigger, a movement that's redefining girlhood today. This movement isn't just about fashion or aesthetics. No, it's fundamentally reshaping our perception on femininity, our relationships with one another as women, and how we understand feminism today. Now, historically, feminism was obviously trivialized. It was seen as being synonymous with fragility, being overly emotional or less serious, particularly in contrast to traits society has often celebrated in men. For example, a 2019 study by the Journal of Gender Studies found that 65% of women felt pressured to downplay traditionally feminine traits to be taken seriously within their professional environments. Now, this data reveals how society has ingrained the belief that power and femininity are mutually exclusive, pushing women to suppress softer aspects of their identity to be seen as competent with their male peers. Yet, this modern take on girlhood is flipping these antiquated ideas on its head. But why should we ever have to choose between being soft and being strong, between ambition and compassion? Instead, girlhood now asserts that we can be both, soft and strong, ambitious and nurturing. In this space, you can be a leader and still love lace. What TikTok allows, unlike traditional media, is for these contrasting visions of femininity to coexist. The platform offers a multiplicity of voices, where women and girls equally can explore their identity in real time and broadcast it to an audience that is much more accepting than previous generations. In this way, TikTok is both a personal stage and a communal space where authenticity is rewarded, whether this authenticity is pink dresses or combat boots. Looking at this trend through the lens of feminism, it becomes clear how far the movement has evolved. The first wave fought for basic rights, voting, owning property. The second wave in the 1960s pushed for breaking free of traditional gender norms, reproductive rights, and equality within the workplace. However, as second wave feminism rightly pushed us out of the kitchen, it sometimes unintentionally distanced us from traditionally feminine things. Famously noted by Simone de Beauvoir in The Second Sex, embracing femininity was often seen as feeding in to patriarchal expectations. This perspective, while essential to breaking free from restrictive roles, created a binary where quote-unquote serious feminists were seen as those who completely rejected femininity altogether. Yet, in doing so, the movement overlooked the power of choice, the ability to choose femininity without submitting to patriarchal expectations. Now, I've often thought about how my journey intersects with others, particularly when I think about class, race, or most obviously, gender. I recall attending a workshop where the only other woman in the room, a woman of color, shared her painful experience of being overlooked. It hit me. Our struggles as women are not all the same. My fight to be heard in a male-dominated society is real, but it is also layered on top of the many privileges I carry as well. That helped me realize that feminism at its best is ensuring that every woman's voice is heard, not just the loudest or most visible ones. Enter the third wave, which introduced the concept of intersectionality, a critical shift in how we today understand feminism. Coined by Kimberlé Crenshaw, intersectionality recognizes that women's experiences differ based on factors like class, race, and sexuality. This expanded the movement to be much more inclusive, ensuring that marginalized voices were heard in spaces where they would usually not be paid much attention to. The girlhood trend, flourishing in today's fourth wave, further embodies this evolution. It celebrates choice and personal agency above all else. It's not about rejecting femininity. It's about reclaiming it on our own terms, reminding us that our individual experiences enrich the collective narrative. This reclamation challenges not just gender roles, but broader societal structures. It disrupts the male-dominated fields of leadership, politics, and technology, where traits associated with masculinity are often seen as the baseline for success. However, by asserting that nurturing qualities, empathy, and a love of aesthetics can coexist with strength and ambition, girlhood shows what true leadership, ambition, and strength look like. Now, TikTok is a pivotal platform in the rise of this girlhood. With its vast reach, it has created a platform where these ideas can be shared quickly and widely. To solidify this, according to a research conducted by the Pew Research Center study, 73% of teenage girls in the US engage with TikTok regularly. Now, this audience is not only contributing content, but is actively participating in this cultural dialogue that celebrates the fluidity and diversity of being a woman. The numbers are staggering. An analysis by Social Media Week found that content related to #girlhood receives over 1.2 billion views monthly. This sheer volume speaks to the cultural hunger for representation and new definitions of what it means to be feminine. TikTok, therefore, serves as the perfect digital space for this, where viral trends like #girlhood amplify voices that would otherwise be unheard. girls from diverse backgrounds, culturally, socioeconomically, and ethically, can share their versions of femininity and see themselves reflected in others. This isn't just a trend. It's a powerful example of how social media can serve as an engine for social change. Traditional media reinforces narrow beauty standards and rigid gender roles. TikTok, on the other hand, democratizes the platform, making it more accessible for everyone to contribute to. This girlhood movement, therefore, thrives because it's shaped by the very people who are often left out of mainstream feminist discourse. Teenage girls, women of color, queer women, and of course, working class women. One of the most powerful transformations sparked by this trend is the way it reframes female friendships. For decades, popular culture has framed female friendships to be inherently competitive or shallow. Think of the constant comparisons in media like Mean Girls or Gossip Girl, where this strong bond has only been reduced to backstabbing and rivalries. This trope serves patriarchy well. It isolates women from each other and prevents collective change by making women see each other as threats. This TikTok-fueled girlhood, however, is flipping this toxic narrative on its head. Under videos celebrating videos of feminine aesthetics or female achievements, you'll see an outpouring of comments. Things like, "You're amazing," or "Yes, girl," aren't just platitudes. They are reflecting a culture of lifting each other up. It's solidarity, not a competition. This shift in how we see each other is radical. A 2022 study found that women who experience stronger female friendships show higher levels of resilience and self-esteem. The girlhood trend therefore amplifies this by creating a space where women and girls can affirm each other's choices, whether they include frilly dresses or structured business suits. The movement's cultural significance, however, goes beyond aesthetics or empowerment. Beneath the surface, girlhood represents a serious form of resistance. By embracing femininity on our own terms, we young women today are pushing back against a world that continues to normalize sexual violence and the erasure of women's voices. The WHO reports that every 1 in 3 women globally experience sexual assault or physical violence. Now, historically, these stories were silenced, but platforms like TikTok are now giving women the power to speak out. The rise of the Me Too movement showed how vital this was, leading to significant increases in the reporting of such stories. The girlhood trend and similar movements, therefore, normalize such discussions about trauma, forcing society to confront uncomfortable truths about how women are treated today, stitching together our individual stories into a collective call for change. Girlhood, by intertwining femininity with agency, offers a powerful message. We can reclaim ourselves on our own terms, and in doing so, confront the systems that have oppressed us for so long. This is not just about fashion or aesthetics. It's about dismantling unfair systems of power. At its core, this trend is about freedom. The freedom to define yourself on our own terms, without the constraints of traditional gender roles or societal expectations. It's a movement that celebrates the full spectrum of femininity, from soft pastels to dark leather, from nurturing friendships to fierce ambition. It champions choice, solidarity, and the reclamation of spaces historically denied to women. And so, as I stand here today, I reflect on all the times I felt pressured to choose, to decide whether to be soft or whether to be ambitious, whether to be a leader or someone who truly belonged. The world has a way of forcing us into these false choices. But with every challenge and every triumph, I've learned that we can be it all. We don't have to pick one over the other. It's about reclaiming ourselves and embracing the fact that we contain a multitude of versions and experiences. We can be bold and still embrace softness, each of us contributing our unique thread to the rich tapestry of life. Just like the girls I see on TikTok every day, confidently owning their version of femininity, I know that we can be proud, powerful, and pretty all at once. It's not about choosing which parts of ourselves to show, but rather about embracing ourselves wholly. And that's what feminism truly is. It's about the freedom to define ourselves on our own terms. So the next time you scroll through TikTok and see a girl unapologetically expressing her identity, know that you're witnessing something much deeper than just a viral trend. It's a quiet revolution, a glimpse into the future of feminism, where every one of us can say we can be proud, powerful, and pretty all at once. Thank you.